there is quite a bit to digest and talk about today. There's a lot of stuff that sort of went on at Raw last night, but the one thing that I want to talk about, and I think a lot of people want to talk about, we want to talk about this big gold belt. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship that was unveiled on Raw last night and who I think should win the belt. But before we dive into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we talk about the big gold belt, which has returned. It has returned. Triple H made the announcement last night that a new World Championship was needed. Post-draft, a new World Championship has been introduced at Clash of Champions, and it's going to be the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt that we all know and love. Personally, my favourite wrestling belt, because I was a wrestling fan in around like 2007 to 2010. That was like peak love. Jeff Hardy World Heavyweight Championship run, CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship run. I have a huge affinity for that belt, and it was reintroduced, and we'll dive into some of the implications about that. But let's talk about the look. Talk about the look of the belt. I don't hate it. It's quite classic. It's the shape of the World Heavyweight Championship, but it's got, and that's the off-putting thing, the WWE logo in the middle of it, which I get you've got to have because branding and whatnot, but I do like that they've differentiated it from the typical standard just logo belts like the Women's Championship, the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship. I think it looks distinct in that regard. We'll see how it looks like in use on someone when they're wearing it either across the shoulder, around the waist. I think it could have a really nice presentation when it looks like that. I don't hate the look in the slightest. Presentation-wise, in terms of how it was announced, I've got a few issues with that because it's hard to see sort of the way Triple H announced it. It was hard to not take this belt as a participation award, as a consolation prize, to Roman's belts. The way it was phrased did not sound good because he essentially said, Roman's too good and he's never here. We're introducing this one instead. That was the way it came across. It's like, okay, you guys that can't beat Roman, you have this one. This is yours. And Roman's going to do his own thing. He's not going to be here a lot. He's got his own contract, his own schedule, so he's not going to be around. We're going to have this new belt that the people who can't beat Roman can win. That's sort of how it came across to me in his promo, and I thought that was a bit iffy. It could have been phrased a little bit better, but we'll see where it goes. I'm intrigued to see how this is used with Roman not being around, because obviously it looks like we're going to get two distinct brands now. Roman, I'm going to assume, is staying on SmackDown, and this will be the Raw main championship. So I'm intrigued to see how that landscape looks after we've had, it feels like it's been a long time since we've had distinct rosters. We've had everyone crossing over, we've had Roman crossing over, we've had Brock, we've had the Bloodline, we've had Sami and KO. They've all sort of ebbed and flowed onto different brands, but now we're going to have two distinct rosters, which I'm down for. I'm down for a brand split. I like a brand split. It was just the way Triple H phrased it was really weird when he announced it. It wasn't flattering, put it that way. It wasn't like he should have essentially said, we have so many talented people on our roster. We are not having, this vacuum not be around. Instead, all these talented people are going to be vying for a new championship because Raw needs a top championship. It could have been phrased a lot better, my opinion. But then we come to the big question, the most interesting question. Who should win the belt? Who should be the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion? We don't know if it's carrying on the lineage of the old World Heavyweight Championship, because the old World Heavyweight Championship was combined with the WWE Championship, if I do believe, in the ladder match with Randy Orton and John Cena, which is now part of Roman's lineage, I think. So I don't know if this is going to start a new one. Who knows? It's all very confusing. But who should win? Who should be that inaugural winner? I'm not going to do a list because I actually have a strong belief of who I should be and how this should go. So it's a little bit more fancy booking than it is a list. But I'm going to throw out a few names that I think maybe could be in consideration. LA Knight, always, of course, he should be in consideration for any world championship. He's just that damn good. I think maybe breaking Bobby Lashley away from the Austin Theory vortex of US championship nonsense would be good. Bray Wyatt? Maybe. He doesn't necessarily need the belt, but I think putting it on a big returning star like Bray could do some sort of good in that regard. But it comes down to two. It comes down to absolutely two for me. And believe it or not, one of them is not Cody Rhodes. This should not be the championship that Cody Rhodes goes after and Cody Rhodes wins. Cody's sight should be set on the WWE Championship. That's what he laid down when he returned. He wants the WWE Championship. He wants to take it from Roman. He should be separate on SmackDown going after Roman. He should not win this belt. So it comes down to two. Seth Rollins, who I think is more than capable of carrying, Raw on his back because he's been doing it for God knows how long now. Seth Rollins is a good shout, and Finn Balor is the other. I think it would be perfect symmetry if they do a tournament or however they want to do it, but the match in Jeddah at Clash of Champions is Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, like it was for the Universal Championship. History coming full circle, and I think Finn Balor should win. I think Finn Balor should be the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. I think it'd be really good for the Judgment Day to have that big, major push at the top of the card. Granted, the flowing in and out of Bloodline stuff, but I think Finn having the World Championship and having Rhea with the SmackDown Women's Championship, it looks good, looks neat. They've got a lot of gold, and I think Balor was, obviously, he had an injury, but he never got that true World Championship run on the main roster, and I think this could be a bit of a, what's the word? I was going to say consolation prize. I don't want to say that. It's just a bit of that extra something for Finn, because he's been doing great work. The Judgment Day have been great. They've been phenomenal. It's just whether you want it on two heels. You want Roman and Balor. I'm down for that. I really think the Judgment Day could do with this win, and Seth going after either Roman or Finn would work really well, and I'd like to see that story play out. There's a story you can tell there of Rollins being unable to beat Finn for the World Championship. You can do that. He's probably beaten him numerous other times, but in those World Championship matches, Finn came out on top. I think it'd be interesting story, and picturing Finn Balor with the World Heavyweight Championship just looks good. I think that looks really cool. So that's my choice. I think Finn Balor is the one to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's an interesting time. A very interesting time to see where this goes. Obviously, other stuff that came out about Raw, rewrites, CM Punk was backstage, got escorted by security or something like that. Utter nonsense. But the World Championship that directly impacts the story, I think Balor is the one. And I think it's a good idea to have two titles again. I'm happy we have two titles. I'm just shocked we're waiting as long as we are for Clash of Champions. I would have thought maybe introduce it on the draft, have a tournament on the draft to crown the new champion. That would have been interesting. But I imagine Triple H will do. He'll do a tournament leading up to Clash of Champions. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good match. I think, Finn Rollins, make it happen in Saudi Arabia. Those are my choices. That's my opinion on the new big gold belt. What do you think? Down in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Let me know anything you want down there, and thank you all ever so much for your support. Stay tuned for a WrestleCrate video that will be coming in the next few days, and have a nice day.